The Washington Nationals may not have won this series against the San Francisco Giants, which feels like the first time in weeks they have lost a series, but Daylen Lile made his debut. Let me tell you this, he flashed.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I am your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, the video version over on YouTube. Again, just search Locked On Nationals. And later on in today's show, let's talk about one of the Nats' top prospects, Brady House. You have seen Daylen Lile make his debut this year. You have seen Robert Hassel III make his debut. Brady House is likely next. We'll discuss that in the third segment of today's program. And in the second segment, it is a Monday, so you know what that means. It's a Nats stock report Monday. Whose stock is up and whose stock is down. We'll discuss all of that and more, but we start off discussing Daylen Lile's debut. And guys, this guy has got the talent to be a very good piece for this future. But before jumping into that, this was a very interesting weekend because I think the San Francisco Giants are a very good team, but I also think where the Nationals are right now and the role that they have been on, I thought that they would fare pretty well going up against a pretty solid team here. The San Francisco Giants are in the toughest division in baseball at the NL West. There's 4 teams that have winning records at this point, from the Dodgers, the Padres, you've got the Giants, you also got the Diamondbacks, who are a very scrappy young team as well. Well, the Nationals came in against the Giants, and it did not go as planned. But I will say this. One of the biggest highlights this weekend was Jake Irvin. Saturday, Jake Irvin had probably his best start since July 4th of last year, where he went 8 shutout innings against the New York Mets and completely dominated in that game. He went 8 shutout innings on Saturday with 3 hits and 7 strikeouts and only 2 walks. Jake Irvin could have gone out there for the 9th inning, and he probably should have, in my opinion. But the Nationals opted to go with Jorge Lopez, and they ended up winning the ball game, completing that shutout, and blanked the San Francisco Giants and had an opportunity to win in yesterday's game. But also one thing that I took from this weekend, while that was a great thing, Friday night, not the best of nights, but you did see Daylen Lile make his debut. First pitch, first hit in his first at-bat. That was awesome to see. But with that in mind, Davey Martinez, let's have a talk. We have all kind of gone on all season long here with this lineup. And when you have younger guys in there, Robert Hassel III, Daylen Lile, do one thing for me. Have some consistency. There has been no consistent everyday lineup. We have thrown everything out there, from James Wood batting leadoff to James Wood batting second to him batting third. You have moved it all around so far this season. With these young guys, Robert Hassel and Daylen Lile, keep some consistency there. Whether you want to have them bat 8 and 9 over the next week, whether you want them to bat 7 and 8, 6 and 7, whatever it may be. But in yesterday's game, Daylen Lile is batting 6th, which is good, by the way. It has a little bit of protection in there for Daylen Lile, going up in the order with some better hitters rather than being next to, let's say, Riley Adams. I understand why the Nationals do that. It makes sense. But also, do that with every other player out there. Dylan Cruz. We have to beg for Dylan Cruz to bat 6th in this lineup rather than 8th or 7th or 9th. And yes, you may think that that's not that big of a deal, that they're still going up there, they're still going to take their hacks, and it doesn't really determine what it is. But one thing about baseball is you have to have some consistent factors, and the Nationals do not have that in their lineup. And the thing that's so frustrating is that that is controllable. You can go out there with a consistent lineup. So Daylen Lile batting 6th, no problem with that. But also keep him there if that's going to be the case. Don't put him back at number 9 or number 8 now, and then go back to number 7 and then back to number 9. Have some consistency with this. Use this as a little bit of a pet project for this Nationals lineup. See if they can build something with 1 through 9 being the same for back-to-back days. That's my one thing with Davey Martinez. Also, in the 9th inning of yesterday's game, Amed Rosario, for those who are not aware, has been killing the baseball, especially as of recent here. He's batting over 300 on the season. He's got an OPS plus north of 100 on the year, and he's been really good. You're going up against Ryan Walker, the closer of the San Francisco Giants, who is actually worse against right-handed batters, and you pinch hit Josh Bell right now, who is one of the worst hitters in all of baseball. That was another decision by Davey where I just kind of left my head scratching a little bit. You have an opportunity to take a lead and go deeper in the game and take this in the extra innings with the runner on second there, but no. We took the bat out of Amed Rosario's hands, who, yes, does struggle against right-handed pitchers there, but still, I trust Rosario over Josh Bell in that scenario. Everyone does. That made no sense to me. So that part was a little bit jarring, to say the least, but let's talk about Daylen Lile and Robert Hassel III in their first weekend as Washington Nationals. So on Friday, we got the call that Daylen Lile was going to be making his major league debut that night. Jacob Young was put on the IL, which is another story, by the way. He was hurt over last weekend. He finally put him on the IL. That's whatever at this point. I guess it wasn't healing the way that they thought, but they made the decision late, and Jacob Young is on the IL now, and now Daylen Lile is up in the bigs with his co-partner there, Robert Hassel III. This is what you're going to have to see from Daylen Lile. Number one, I want this out there. Daylen Lile is a very, very talented player. 22 years old, drafted in the second round out of high school with Brady House, by the way, who was in AAA and killing the baseball at this point. We'll talk about him later on in the show today. But as far as ceilings go, Daylen Lile has one of the highest ceilings in the Nats system right now. I think it's Travis Sikora at the top, who has aced up, and he is putting up ace-like numbers in his first start in Wilmington. He shoved yet again for the Nationals. But Daylen Lile, he has got plus defense. He's got range. He can run the bases. He can hit for power. He can hit for average. He has done it all throughout the last few years. But similar to Robert Hassel, health is a big thing with Daylen Lile here. And he has flown through the Nats system. He started off this year in AA Harrisburg, got promoted pretty quickly to Rochester, then got promoted to the big leagues after killing it in Rochester also, and now you're starting to see him up in the major league level. It would not surprise me at all to see Daylen Lile take over as your everyday left fielder or right fielder and be in that same mix as Robert Hassel III. We might talk a little bit more about Bobby Barrels because he is a former first-round pick. The expectations were really high when the Nationals traded for him. But he made, talking about Daylen Lile, he made some awesome catches this weekend, including one to save and seal the win on Saturday. Daylen Lile, this is a name to watch moving forward. I'm not sure if he's going to have it all click right away at 22 years old. But again, the power and the hit ability, the defense, the speed on the bases, everything is there. It's just a matter of if this guy can put it together and if the Nationals can develop him continually at this major league level. That's going to be something a lot of us will be watching for. Because we all know kind of the issues with the Nationals in years past. They call up these guys, whether it's Luis Garcia Jr., they struggle a few years, and it takes some time for them to really kind of adjust to major league pitching. But I think Daylen Lile, as far as talent goes, he is wildly talented, and he can do it all. Similar to Robert Hassel here, except I think Lyle has a little bit more power to him so far. But I will say this, a couple of awesome catches, running the bases well, good power, defense, everything is there for him. I'm excited to see what Daylen Lile can do. And also, just by the way, I wanted to make this note. 4 of the 5 pieces were in the lineup for the Nationals of that Juan Soto trade on Friday night. You got to see Robert Hassel III in game number 2. You got to see Mackenzie Gore on the bump. You saw C.J. Abrams at shortstop. You saw James Wood in left field. Things are happening. You've got one more piece to that puzzle, and that's Jarlin Susana. And hopefully he could be making his debut maybe later on this season, maybe next season. Who knows at this point? He's 21 years old, and he throws 100 miles per hour. He's going to fly up the majors pretty soon, hopefully. So I thought that was a really cool moment, and kind of got to see everything was put all together for the Washington Nationals. So thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day. Next, let's get you a Nats stock report. Who has been up and who has been down? We'll get into that after we tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. And the NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances and major momentum shifts and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get in on the action. And last night, you saw Karl-Anthony Towns take over for the New York Knicks. Well, during halftime, I took the over on the points, and wouldn't you know it, added a little bit more fun, and he hit that thing. But also tonight, you've got the T-Wolves going up against the Thunder. I've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's over on the points and the rebounds tonight. I've also got Anthony Edwards. He's going to drop a double-double because this guy is a big game maker. And I make my same game parlays always with FanDuel. And of course, how could a $200 in bonus bets add to the excitement? If your first $5 bets, I can tell you this, it does. It helps. It makes it more exciting. And of course, if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up and head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. And if it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Again, head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. And if your first bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. So make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Let's get into a Nats stock report here. This is where you get your latest individual performances on the Washington Nationals. So let's get into it. They stock up for 2020 second-round pick, second straight appearance, by the way, for Cole Henry. This is one of your best bullpen pieces at this point, and I'm not afraid to say it. It's his first year out of the bullpen, and in 15 of his first 16 appearances, he has blanked the opposing team. He has a 0.87 whip on the year. He has not allowed a run since April 28th. And you're starting to see the Nationals use him in higher leverage situations, which tells me that Davey Martinez trusts him, and he should, by the way. This guy has been awesome. He's got strikeout stuff. He doesn't walk many batters. And again, the 0.87 whip on the year kind of shows how dominant that he has been so far. Cole Henry in the month of May has not given up a run in nearly 8, 9, 10 appearances so far this year. He has been incredible to watch. He continues to be a premier arm out of the bullpen, and I think the Nationals might have found something here. When he got the call up in mid-April, I was not 100% sure what to expect because he had that thoracic outlet surgery, which ended Steven Strasburg's career. And of course, that's what our eyes are going to be on at this point because he has battled the injury bug these past few seasons. And when he had that surgery last year, he was overall pretty healthy, looked pretty good. This year in spring training, threw the ball really well, was healthy, had his velo back up. And now you're starting to see it up in the major leagues. And the Nationals, they may have stumped their toe into a stud reliever right here in town who's got 6 more years of control left after this year with Cole Henry. What an incredible performance from Cole so far. Again, 15 of his first 16 games out of the bullpen. First time ever, 0 earned runs outside of that one game where he got tattooed by the New York Mets and Juan Soto and company there. So that appearance sucked for him, but outside of that, 15 of his 16 appearances, he has been dominant. So stock up for Cole Henry. He's going to work his way into a very premier role for this bullpen. stock down for first baseman Nathaniel Lowe. We bring in Nathaniel Lowe this offseason to provide two things: power and defense. Defensively, he's been pretty good. I thought he'd be a little bit better. I'm not going to lie. He has made some mistakes here and there over at first base, but better than Joey Meneses and better than Juan Yepez. That part, very true. But I need my power hitters to hit for power. Right now, he's been on a struggle bus of all struggle buses at this point. Over his last 15 games, he has a 283 slug. He has a 276 slug in his last 7. And his OBP is sub 200 in his last 15 games. Nathaniel Lowe still has pop. He still has power, but we just have not seen it up at this point. I believe he's got 1 home run over his last 15 games. And Nathaniel Lowe, by the way, he did come close to extra bases yesterday in the 9th inning, which would have tied the game. He was literally inches away from having that ball land fair in the left field line. But unfortunately for the Nationals, did not go their way. And Nathaniel Lowe did eventually get out there. But Nathaniel Lowe, he is riding this struggle bus right now. The power is not there. He doesn't look like himself really defensively either. And it's just not been a good go for it so far. So it kind of leads us to have a lot of conversations about the future of Nathaniel Lowe here. Should the Nationals trade him at the deadline? Should they try to sell high on him if he gets hot as the summer comes around? Who knows at this point? But the Nationals, they've got some possibilities with Yohandy Morales killing it down in the minors. So we'll see what the Nationals ultimately decide to do there. But Nathaniel Lowe, stock down for now because of no power as of recent. Stock up, someone we mentioned in the first segment, Amed Rosario. And by the way, do you know that Amed Rosario is still only 29 years old? I could have sworn this guy was like 33 years old. It's just one of those things where you kind of look at his age, you're like, oh yeah, he's still kind of young in baseball terms. 29 years old still, and he is killing it for the Nationals as of recent. Over his last 15 games, batting .327, a .364 OBP, and a .481 slug. He's got a home run, 10 RBIs in those 52 at-bats. And again, it makes it even a little bit more jarring that we pinch hit Josh Bell for Amed Rosario in yesterday's game in the 9th inning, going against a right-handed pitcher who has struggled against right-handed batters, and especially when Rosario goes up against guys like, I mean, he's batting .327 right now. All you needed was a hit, and things could have happened. But no, we took the bat out of his hand, but he has been so hot as of recent. And yes, he primarily goes against left-handed pitching, and that's okay. But Rosario has been awesome so far. What an awesome piece to this Nationals team so far. And I know I'm that guy, but I'm looking at the trade deadline. That's a nice little trade piece there for a team looking for a platoon bat to go up against left-handed pitching, because he can play third base, he can play shortstop, he can play second base, he can really play anywhere defensively, and he is a stud defender out there as well. So I stock up for Amed Rosario. He's quickly becoming one of the favorites here on Locked On Nationals. So kudos to Amed Rosario. Stock down. Nationals backup catcher, Riley Adams. I went in this offseason pleading to the Washington Nationals to go get a legit backup catcher. Bring in Travis d'Arnaud from the Braves. Bring in James McCann, who was with the Orioles the last years. Bring in someone to push Keibert Ruiz and to also just be a good defender. Because Riley Adams, he's not getting it done defensively, while he is better defensively than Keibert, but he is also not getting it done offensively. He's got 5 hits in his first 32 at-bats this year. And I will say, Keibert Ruiz has been getting the primary opportunities there behind the dish, as he should. Keibert Ruiz is the future defensively, or future at the catcher position. He's certainly not the future defensively. And Keibert Ruiz has actually had a good year, offensively speaking. But I kind of need a veteran presence now. You need someone to kind of help Keibert Ruiz out a little bit, and also have a little bit of a friendly competition. It never hurts to have your position push just a little bit. And I don't think it would hurt Keibert Ruiz at this point, because Riley Adams, this is kind of the fear. The power has not come back for him. He has not been very good defensively, while he is actually pretty well at throwing guys out, because according to Baseball Savant, he is well above average at this point. His pop time is still in the bottom 25th percentile in all of baseball. So he's not that quick back there. So at this point, I think Riley Adams, I would not be surprised to see him get optioned and maybe bring up Drew Millis from AAA Rochester. But the Nationals, they're going to have to do something there as far as backup catchers go, because these guys, while they don't play all too often, they do play like once every 5 days. You're going to have a consistent backup catcher to be in that role. And Riley Adams has not been consistent so far this season. And honestly, I'm ready to pull the plug at this point. We'll see what the Nationals decide to do there. Stock up, last but not least, Michael Soroka. Forget the season numbers. The stuff is there. Soroka has given up 4 home runs over his last 3 starts, and that's really what has killed him. For Michael Soroka's case, he's in a different kind of ballpark at this point. I don't judge him as a starter that's been starting for the last few years, because that's not what he has been. He has gone through hell with injuries. Last year, he started off as a starter with the White Sox, got put in the bullpen, and was good as a reliever, by the way. But Soroka has actually been really good for the Nationals so far. And for someone who is, again, number one, had a big mechanic tweak this offseason, and then number 2, kind of getting back in the rhythm of starting every 5 days, 4 bad pitches over 3 starts, his 4 home runs that he's given up, I'll take that as a mistake. Because you're going up against very good Major League hitting recently. You're going up against a lot of guys like the Giants, a very potent lineup there. They're a very young lineup. And I'll take that for someone who is, again, just trying to get his feet back under him, getting used to pitching every 5 days, and why the Nationals made that $9 million kind of move for him this offseason. It is making sense, I will say. So stock up for Michael Soroka. Again, the stuff is there. He's not striking out guys at a rate that I would like to see, but still, he's never been a strikeout guy besides last year out of the bullpen. He was actually striking out everybody. But 4 bad pitches away from being on a roll over these last 3 starts. So I've really liked what I've seen from Michael Soroka, so we stock up for him. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Next, let's talk about your next prospect who could be getting the call up to the major leagues. We'll discuss that after this. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Brady House, your Nationals, 2021 first round pick out of high school. He's ready for the majors. I'm ready to see him. Yesterday, he had a 460-foot bomb dead center field against Syracuse. And also, by the way, yesterday he went 3 for 5, and he has got 9 home runs on the year so far. And the incredible raw power is right there on display for everyone to see. So when are we going to see Brady House up in the bigs? When is it time? I'm not going to lie. Jose Tena, hand up. I've kind of yo-yoed him around a little bit. I kind of say, I want to see more of him, and I do. But then when I see more of him, I see defensive mistakes that have cost the Nationals some games in some high-leverage situations. I've seen Jose Tena put up poor at-bats, and I've seen him run into outs also, I will say. But Jose Tena, he's good, but he's not an everyday third baseman. If you're telling me that Jose Tena is kind of the holdup at this point for Brady House, I think that's ridiculous. You should have Brady House up in the big leagues sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. This kid is ready. And also, just by the way, the Nationals need a little bit of a jolt. You're kind of been on this run recently where you're kind of back in the wild card picture. You're not that far off from being back at 500. What would help you at this point? You don't really have that many pitching prospects outside of Cade Cavalli, who's right there ready to help you every 5 days. But Brady House is in this picture right now, and he is someone that could certainly help this lineup immediately today. Is it because I'm a little bit excited with Robert Hassel III getting the call up and Daylen Lile getting the call up as of recent? Sure it is. And the Nationals will probably have to wait until some sort of injury happens because Jose Tena at this point, they're going to want to keep him. He's got no more options left, though. That's the big deal about this. So you can't just option Tena and bring up Brady House. You're either going to have to cut loose Jose Tena or cut loose Josh Bell and let the rest play out. But if you cut Josh Bell at this point, then who's going to play first base? Brady House has never played first base in his major league career or in his minor league career. He has played third base, but I believe he's played shortstop for a few in Fredericksburg. That's it. You're not going to put someone new over at first base for days that Nathaniel Lowe wants off because you do have to kind of think ahead of yourself and kind of get ahead of the curve here. But where the Nationals are, Brady House is ready. And Brady House would bring a huge momentum boost to this lineup. And I'm ready to see him. What says you? Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good one. Enjoy the day off. And tomorrow we start West Coast baseball for the Washington Nationals. Can't wait for that. I'll catch you on the flip side. Go Nats.